The whole of mindfulness meditation practice can be described as a training of the heart-mind, the citta, which leads the heart to develop its fullest range of expression of love and receptivity. Often in the suttas, an image of a tuning a musical instrument is used. Now, this instrument has 4 classic heart tones that vibrate and resonate with whatever it comes in contact with. Each tone arises in accord with specific conditions that evoke metta, loving kindness or friendliness, karuna or compassion, mudita, sympathetic or empathetic joy, and upekkha, equanimity. These expressions of the heart are unencumbered by greed, hatred, and ignorance. In fact, these are antidotes to unwholesome mind states. Together, these heart qualities are known as the brahmaviharas, the divine abidings, or the heavenly abodes. Their cultivation brings forth peace and happiness that is not reliant on external circumstances. No, you see, when the heart is fully operational, it is able to be with and to respond to whatever arises skillfully. Each of the tonal qualities has a range of expression. For example, when feeling metta, it can be extended from barely tolerating, white-knuckling something, to civility, to respect, to a feeling of kinship, and to a more transpersonal experience of interconnectedness, radical interconnectedness with all that's alive. That's the whole range. And each one of these qualities has that kind of expansive range. The practice of mindfulness meditation is intended to deepen, widen, and strengthen this experience of friendliness. And realistically, we have to meet ourselves where we are. We have to set up the practice right from there and humbly acknowledge that our sense of goodwill has limitations. No problem. These are skills that can be learned by bringing forth a mindful perspective, by entraining, by doing, by setting up a non-judgmental, non-identified posture of caring attention that can see and feel and care about and for what is happening inside and outside in real time. In the land of the heart, the motto is, to others as to myself as to others. It's a holistic practice, and it cultivates a wholesome perspective. The Buddha suggested that the average, ordinary, untrained heart-mind, though, is fickle. When we're going about our day as usual, our minds are habituated to certain preferences and opinions and reactive patterns, which interfere with our heart's ability to be receptive or to transmit kindness and care, joy and equanimity. We may notice that certain people or situations naturally evoke friendliness and the spirit of welcoming, such as being in the company of good friends at weddings or at celebrations. The warm heart opens, it warms, it invites. In other contexts, we naturally close down. We aren't interested, aren't comfortable, don't care, or don't even notice to care. Think homeless people. Think cafe servers, cashiers, subway passengers. In these circumstances, generally speaking, the heart is not necessarily open for business. Our hearts grow unevenly based on exposure and conditioning. If we grew up in an atmosphere of competition, friendliness may be stunted. If we didn't receive much gratitude and appreciation, empathetic joy may require a little more deliberate effort and attention. If we were exposed to anger and abuse, compassion and equanimity may be harder to access. In my family, I grew up in an Irish Catholic family, and passions and energies and emotions were always kind of right there. And equanimity was not a strength, right? It took time to cultivate that. Oh. You know, so you truly might consider from that perspective, you know, how you grew up, what qualities were kicking around in your family of origin, and what ones weren't. Right, it gives you a chance to kind of figure, oh yeah, maybe I might bring a little more attention to mudita, right? Our understanding and expression of these heart tones is highly idiosyncratic. We may be able to hold and consider many divergent views at work, but at home, we struggle to hold an equanimous posture with our partner. Or when the kids start fighting with each other, we're like, oh my gosh, no, right? What is notable is that all of these heart tones is more easily accessed when we're in a state that is free from stress. However, the reality is that most of the time we are stressed, which makes practicing more challenging. So easy does it. Learning is messy and frustrating. Be patient. Patience, my friend. Rest in the knowledge that we have the capacity to grow our hearts. So each brahmavihara has a range, a depth, and a particular feel, a felt experience. Each one grows alone and together by what we give attention to and how. It's these attitudinal and attentional habits that actually shape our lives. Another image that's frequently evoked in the suttas is one of a mother caring for a child who sets limits to protect the child's well-being, responds to successes and blessings with joy, to illness is able to care, and to dispute offers as much equanimity as is possible and necessary. A mother's expression of love is broad and varied. And this is what we want to entrain. Though the brahmaviharas are called heavenly abodes, they are not esoteric states. Instead, we encounter these expressions of non-harm and goodwill in some form in ourselves and others every day. But likely, we tend to not notice them or pay much attention to them. So this is really the encouragement. Because our human habit is to give preferential treatment to the unpleasant, to unwholesome mind states, to what worries us and upsets us. So why is it a good idea to take notice and keep those wholesome states around? Because these kinds of states nourish us. They nourish the heart. They soothe, lighten, and brighten the atmosphere inside. They create mental, emotional, and physical space. In their presence, the organism senses and responds viscerally. Somatically, it begins to soften and relax and let go of its vigilance, which it's been holding on to just to get through the day. We literally learn how to breathe easier in their presence. Even though these heart qualities live in all of us to some degree, they're often underdeveloped and less accessible because of our tendency to focus on the negative. The beauty is that we can start where we are and grow them from here. But we can't manufacture them or force these feelings to come around. All we can do is begin to set up the conditions and begin to notice when they're around and deliberately bring them forward. We can learn to notice and name these uplifting qualities when they arise in the course of our day, because they will. Someone holds a door for us and we notice that kindness deliberately. We have a chance to notice that if we pay attention. And then from there, we could begin to feel, oh, what does it feel like? It feels kind of nice when somebody holds a door for me. Oh my goodness, right? Just that little bit, we begin to feel, we can notice, we can feel, and then we can begin to know and understand how to create those conditions, how to kindle them into existence. Oh, when somebody holds the door for me, I feel pretty good. Well, maybe I'll hold the door for the next person. This is how we learn to discern and to respond in the presence of unkind or even unobservant. Somebody who's just kind of, just walking about on their cell phone, don't even notice another person. Well, we can, as a counterpoint, notice and hold the door. In formal practice, whether sitting, standing, lying down, or walking, the heart can be deliberately, intentionally lit by how we set up the posture of the practice right at the start, how we approach, prepare, and take our seat. Beginning meditation instructions don't tell us to just plop down on the cushion in whatever state we've arrived in. No. They suggest that we deliberately set up the internal posture that is non-judgmental, that is non-identified, and a posture that is imbued with the qualities of interest and care. So as we attend, that is what we bring with that attention, interest and care. This reconditions the heart-mind out of its habitual way of relating and into a posture that leads to something that feels a bit more connected, a little kinder, a little more at peace, and brings forth a sense of ease of well-being. So every time we set up the posture, that is what we're doing, reconditioning the heart-mind. And out of this beginning posture, the heartful view of mindfulness can be trained to look at both the whole of the picture and the particular parts. We can look at the context that we're working within, and we can look at little old us. How are we feeling and relating to what's happening out there? And we can begin to feel, the whole body can feel what's happening and begin to understand, oh, this is the best way to relate to this situation. Because we're learning to approach that situation from a more heartful place, from a place that's not identified and judgmental. It's like, okay, what's happening here? Let me just take a step back and look at this. This is the ground of friendliness that Metta is operating out of. That is what we're setting up, learning to set up the ground of friendliness and non-harm. And this is what creates the conditions for all of the other heart qualities to grow. Metta. Metta is the nutriment for karuna, for compassion, for joy, and equanimity. Each time one of these states is invoked or noticed, it grows. We just have to notice it. Now, without metta, without an attitude of goodwill and non-harm, mindfulness would be too brittle to tolerate whatever discomfort arises. And it would be unable to truly investigate because it's stuck in judgment. It's stuck in judgment, and therefore it's disconnected, and it either is feeling fearful or indifferent. Now, we can't force the bloom of any of these heart qualities, if we try, we're apt to be disappointed and to grow weary from our effort of overextending the heart's capacity. This brings about what we call compassion fatigue. We also can't manufacture the feelings. Otherwise, it feels very syrupy, sentimental, fake, inauthentic. And our efforts kind of fall flat. Instead, we have to really meet ourselves where we are and begin practicing and optimizing the conditions right here to bring the wholesome attitudes around. And over time, we do this enough times repeatedly, well, mindfulness slowly begins to uncover and reveal the brilliance and the breadth of the heart's ability and capacity. And as the heart tones are accessed through mindfulness, well, the self and its preferences begin to quiet down. And that's a relief. That's a relief. They begin to distill out. In the absence of fear and aversion and craving, the heart grows more stable, less fickle, able to hold a little more kindness and compassion in real time. So it's our great good fortune that these qualities can be entrained, that they don't have to be fully present, that we can kindle them into existence. And as they do, and as our hearts grow less fickle and become a little more consistent, they also grow more resilient, able to withstand kind of the stress that's out there that we're really living in. So today I'd like to invite all of us to bring forward a little more metta, a little more friendliness, to play with looking at yourself and the world through kinder eyes. It's radical to do that, especially right now. The world is a rough place. It's radical to bring forward kinder eyes. So let's form the intention to not echo the noise that's out there, but rather invite, instill, and suffuse our little corner of the world with the generosity of kindness, non-harm, and goodwill, of friendliness. We can do this. We can bring kinder eyes into our day. It's for our welfare and the welfare of all we encounter. All right? All right. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Okay. Let's let go of the words. Kindly turn your eyes toward this body. Open it up. Let's see what stress and tension, what stale air we can get rid of, and breathe some fresh air into our lungs and body. This is what I call optimizing the conditions, because we're opening it up, moving the stale energy out and creating a little more space inside, so that breathing has as much room as it needs to breathe. Today, I thought for the meditation that I would invite us to really love locally, as they say, right here, love locally. So we're going to lovingly bring metta all the way through this fathom-long body and give it the attention that it likely hasn't gotten in a little while. Okay? All right, so settle yourself into as comfortable a posture as is possible. And I like to gently sway or rock the upper body around atop the lower body, and just feel my sits bones, feel where they are, locate them, and then settle into stillness and grow tall right out of them. On that inhalation, feel from the base of the body all the way up through the back, through the neck, through the head. And on the exhalation, soften and settle around and through the whole of the body, settling it all the way down onto the cushion, the chair, the floor. With each exhalation, feel the body settling down. And with each inhalation, feel the body opening up. And let's add a few drops of gratitude into the interior. And just feel into the ordinary, magnificent gratitude of being alive right now. You're not making it happen. The breath is already moving. It's breathing you. Thank you. Thank you, dear breath, for being my lifelong companion, my lifelong friend, and for keeping me alive. And let whatever busyness of the mind, let that just be like clouds in the sky. And in the foreground, keep bringing forward a loving breath, a kind, easy breath. Now gently take these kind eyes and bring attention to the region of the head. Breathe, lovingly breathe. May the whole of my head be comfortable and at ease. May my scalp, my face, eyes, ears, nose, mouth be relaxed and at ease. Gently slide attention down the neck and breathe into the whole of the neck. May my throat inside and outside. Be relaxed and at ease. Bring the attention down to the shoulders. Sense the breadth of the shoulders from one side to the other. Breathe. May my shoulders relax down and feel more comfortable. May they release the tension that they store there. Lovingly bring attention down the length of the arms. May these arms, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, be as relaxed and at ease as is possible. Moving attention into the hands. And feel the palms of the hands, the fingers, the back of the hands, and breathe. Lovingly breathe. May these hands that work so hard for me be relaxed and at ease. Gently move attention to the back. Sense the upper back, the middle of the back, and the lower back. Breathe into the whole of the back. May my back, may the whole of the spine be healthy and strong. Slide attention over to the side body. Breathe into the side of the body. May the sides of the body be as relaxed and at ease as possible. Slide the attention to the front, to the belly, to the area that stores so much emotion, and breathe. May this belly and all of the organs inside, reproductive and digestive, may they all feel relaxed and at ease. May they let go of whatever tension is there. Gently move attention up to the chest. And breathe. May my chest soften and open into ease. Now gently bring attention down to the base, to the sits bones, and feel the whole of the upper body sitting on these sit bones, and breathe. May my buttocks, may my sits bones and whole pelvic floor and bowl be as relaxed and at ease as is possible. Widening your attention, bring them to the hips. And lovingly breathe into the hips. May my hips release whatever tension is there and relax into comfort and ease. And shifting attention down into the legs, the thighs, the knees, shins, calves, and ankles. Breathe. May the whole of the leg be relaxed and at ease. Moving attention down to the feet, which carry us through our life, wherever we go. Breathe. Lovingly breathe. May the whole of the foot, the soles, the heels, the arch, the toes, the tops of the feet, may the whole of the feet be relaxed and at ease. Now very gently widen attention and sense the whole of the body sitting here in loving awareness. Let the goodwill suffuse the whole of the body and nourish every cell. Thank you, dear body. Thank you, dear breath. Thank you, dear heart. Thank you, dear mind. For another day. Thank you so much for your practice. Thank you for joining us. Let me stop the recording and give you permission.